I couldn't see his face. I'd like to call to order the December 14th meeting of the Hammond Board of Public Works and Safety. Roll call.
Mr. DeStotnik?
Here.
Ms. Gray? Ms. Margraf?
Here.
Are there any conflict of interest statements?
No.
Approval of the minutes of the meeting of December 7th.
I recommend we defer December 7th reading of the minutes.
And I'll concur. Under correspondence item A, we have change order number 12 from American Structure Point for the Chicago Street Widening and Reconstruction Project. Change order is for $17,237.72. It's 80/20, so the city's share will be $3,447.54. Do I have a recommendation to approve the change order?
Recommend we approve the change order.
And I'll concur. Next, we have a quote recommendation received from Mr. Dean Button, City Engineer, for underground utility investigation on 126th Street at New York Avenue. He attempted to get 4 proposals. He was only able to get 2, and he's recommending that it be awarded to the low bidder, Hassey Construction, for $41,995. He said that that's a fair price for the work. So do I have a recommendation approving that?
Recommend we approve the quote recommendation from the city engineer.
And I'll concur. Item C, correspondence received from Mr. Mark Gorgeous, Senior Project Manager, requesting INDOT inspect and clear access points along Interstate 8094 for the emergency response. These are the doorways and
Yeah, this is access points for fire department.
yeah, through the sound barrier.
Lay hose through the sound barrier. Yeah, I recommend that. Is that a recommend needed to send to INDOT, right?
Right.
I recommend we send this to INDOT.
And I'll concur. Item D, correspondence received from Chief of Police John Doty recommending Spencer Lemons and Edgar Huerta be appointed as probationary members of the Hammond Police Department to serve 1-year probationary period effective December 12, 2017. Officer Cody Sparks be promoted to the rank of 3rd-class patrolman effective December 7th. Officer Keith Barnard to relinquish field training. Officer FTO specialty pay effective December 12th. Officer John Adam to receive FTO specialty pay effective December 12th, and disposal authorizations from the Hammond Police Department. We're just going to do those all in one lump.
Recommend we approve the police chief's request.
And I'll concur. Item E, hearing on property located at 2027 Davis Avenue.
Attorney Sorge was here, who is representing the owner. He has indicated to me that the owner is going to be cooperating with the removals. I didn't know if we wanted to skip this one to see if he comes back or not. Yeah, okay. I don't know if we want to. Yeah, he was just here. I handed him a copy of the file, but basically this property contains 2 illegal apartments based on the research and construction of the units. I don't know, he did indicate to me that the owners are going to cooperate with the removal. They were just asked for some time, but if we can maybe move past this one and return when Mr. Sorge is in the room, that would probably be best. Up to the board.
You want to do item F then first? Hearing on property located at 229 Doty?
Yeah,
That's mine.
that's fine.
Also with him.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, we can move to the.
Yeah, we could go to G.
Item G, notice of violation hearing on property located at 226 to 28 Carroll Street. Oh, we're going back to item E, 2027 Davis.
Yeah, so as indicated by Attorney Sorge, we just had a brief conversation. The owners are going to be willing to cooperate. At this property, we have a cellar apartment which fails to meet ceiling height requirements, as well as fire separation requirements and use the cellar for habitation. So we were asking that the cellar apartment be affirmed for removal, and then the 2nd floor front. This building, along with a lot on that block, were built by the same contractor who built 2 flats originally when they were constructed. Along the years, a few of them were converted to multi-units. We've already had a few properties brought in front of the board for the removals. The 2nd floor front fails to meet fire separation requirements, as well as the current construction of the bathroom and the apartment itself for size requirements wouldn't meet, code requirements when it was constructed. And based on our permit research, we can't find any permits that were issued to convert this property from a two-flat to additional units, which would then take it to a commercial status. So we're just asking that the board, based on our findings, affirm the removal of these 2 units to convert the property back to a 2-unit. And I'll let Mr. Sorge speak on behalf of his client.
Yeah, the clients came in, they're willing to do the work, they just getting the contracting put in place to get that done. So I think they're talking to people with regard to the fire separation and that now that our agreement.
Right.
They just want some additional time to get this accomplished into the spring probably.
Yeah, we're fine with, as far as time is concerned, as long as they understand that the 2 units would need to be removed and the property converted back to the original 2-unit that it was built as. The first floor is already constructed in its original condition. The second floor should basically match that in layout. So typically what we see is between the 1940s and 50s is when these additional units were created. So we're more than willing to work with the owners as far as time is concerned. We would just ask that the board affirm the removal, and then we can work with them to get the work completed and bring the property into compliance.
Anything else, Mr. Sorge? I recommend that we affirm the order.
And I'll concur.
Thank you. Yeah, just have to give me a call and I'll sit down.
Now we move down to item F, Chris.
It's also with Mr. George. How are you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I talked to the building department on this property. If you'll recall, this was a demolition file from November the 9th. We continued it until today. Mr. Sorge's client paid for an inspection back in November. It has not yet been completed. So I don't know if this would work with Mr. Sorge's calendar, but maybe we should continue this until January 25th. What's your schedule look like for that day? Is there a day that's better? Are you going to be here anyway?
Not at this point in time, no. But
You're never coming back?
No, I'm trying not to come back.
Oh, come on, this is fun.
Yeah, that would be fine. My client's ready to start the work. This is my client, Mr. Breakhouse. He's ready to start the work. He's come here to try to pull permits, but they're not giving him a permit until after
Right,
the inspection's done.
They got to
So
get the inspection.
We're ready to go on this one as soon as we do the inspection and get a contractor started.
There was an issue, though, with a sinkhole, and I was just kind of hoping that maybe he could address it before weather got so terrible.
That's something
There.
that doesn't require a permit?
It's a sewer issue.
Oh, this one here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
As long as there's authorized me to do the work, I'll do it.
Well, talk to the building department about the specifics, but just, I guess, before the ground gets cold. Or do we want to just wait? I just want the mailman to put his foot in there or something. So are you okay with January 25th? Hopefully we can get you a rehab before then and the inspection done.
Yeah.
Would that be okay with the board?
What, status of January 25th?
Yes, please. We have other statuses that day, so that way it'll just be easy to keep on the calendar.
That's fine. I
And
recommend
Bob
so
Bale's
for
gonna be doing the
status, January 25th, 2018.
And I'll concur.
So contact me?
Yeah, Bob Bale. Before you leave, go down and ask for Bob Bale. See when he can get.
Item G, notice of violation hearing on property located at 2026 through 28 Carroll Street.
If we could set this over a week, the owner is cooperating with the removal. He's already hired licensed contractors to start the process. I believe he wanted to be present in the hearing, so I didn't want to move forward until, without him being here as he
We'll
requested.
defer this till next week.
If we could, please.
Do I have such a recommendation?
I recommend we defer till next week.
And I'll concur.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item H, contract for demolition services with Midway General Construction for 31 through 33 Carroll Street, front and rear, in the amount of $9,000. Do I have a recommendation approving that contract?
Please say yes. We just got a.
That's a different one. That's the next one.
Oh. Yeah, I recommend we approve the contract for Midway General Construction.
And I'll concur. Item I, contract for demolition services with RSR Demolition LLC for 6436 Forest in the amount of $5,870.
This garage?
That's a big garage, ain't it?
They had the house we were trying to sell this house.
Recommend we approve the contract for RSR.
And I'll concur. Item J, contract for demolition services with RSR Demolition LLC for 4617 Ash Avenue in the amount of $6,300.
Recommend we approve the contract for RSR.
And I'll concur. Item K, proposed license agreement for environmental monitoring for property located in the 1200 and 1300 blocks of Lakeview Avenue with Rambo Environmental. Is there a gas station there or something?
Where?
1200, 1300 block of Lakeview. Oh, no, that's Federated Metals. Okay, so they're doing some groundwater monitoring in that neighborhood. Do I have a recommendation approving the groundwater monitoring?
Recommend we approve the agreement for groundwater monitoring.
And I'll concur. Item L, correspondence received from Gary Gleason, Director of Public Works, advising Public Works will not be placing a do not block driveway sign and no vehicle can block a city-owned sidewalk regarding property at 238 Doty.
We don't need anything on that, right?
Huh?
We don't need anything on that, do we?
Well, we need to approve Gary's recommendation.
I recommend that we approve Mr. Gleason's request for 238 Doty Street.
And I'll concur. And item M is a garage sale permit. Isn't it too cold to have a garage sale?
This weekend's supposed to be 40? 40?
Never too cold to have a garage.
12, 14. Oh, she's already had it. Or that's today. Wow, it's today. 14, 93. I recommend we approve the garage sale permit for today.
And I'll concur. Item 6, matters from other board members. I have one. I have a request for an alley closure, and it looks like they're going to be starting work on Monday, December 18th, and ending on Friday, December 22nd, but they don't state when they're going to actually shut it down. Let's see, mark this. Oh, maybe for 5 days through that window, depending on weather, right?
Weather dependent?
That's behind the old funeral parlor that was demolished, and they're putting up a,
What, 119?
yeah, 119 Calumet. So they can exit through the parking lot, so that's really not a big issue, and engineering will coordinate. Do I have a recommendation to approve the closure and the tentative dates?
Recommend we approve the closure and the tentative dates.
And I'll concur. Any other matters from other board members? Matters from other department heads or their representatives? New business? Old business? Meeting's open to the public. Is there anyone in the audience like to step up to the microphone?
Mr. Still's from 1508 Hopkins Street, I think.
Yep, that's it.
Has a unique situation that we're going to be asking for residential parking only, no parking this side of the street. The situation is such, if I may show you some pictures. This is Walnut, typical Sunday, and this is the west side of Mr. Stamos's property, east side of the other house on Hopkins Street. So this is Walnut, they're parking on the grass.
Is this over by Bishop Knoll, I'm guessing?
Exactly.
Okay.
And then here's the situation at night, and when we're asking for residential parking on the west side of this property, or east side of Walnut. These cars belong to the gentleman who lives at 4815 Walnut. And this street actually goes into an alleyway, which limits his parking. He does have additional space, but this is where he chooses to park. And I think you can agree that trying to get a rig through there or an ambulance through there is going to be a tough situation.
Thank you.
So if we have residential parking only, these cars will have tags.
Not sure.
If we have no parking on the side of the street, vehicles like this won't be on that side, won't be allowed to park on that
Is that
side.
a dead-end street? That's a little
There's
short.
an alley, it goes into an alley that turns, heads east out back onto, would be,
And what's the address, did you say earlier?
This is 1508 Hoffman. So this is a 4800 block of Walnut.
It's a T intersection right by the church there. So this is a problem only on Sundays?
Tiny's got it on his phone.
Yeah.
It might be easier.
So is this only a problem on Sundays?
No, football season.
Okay.
Also the extracurricular activities that go on within the church, and often sometimes around Bishop Knoll. I don't have my glasses, but, here's the situation. This is the west side of his property. Here's Walnut. And then it comes into, this gentleman's at 4815 Walnut, and this Walnut comes into this alley. So where you have these cars parked is right on this curve. So you have a car parked here in the corner, and to here, you're not gonna get right through there, an ambulance, or a patrol car probably. And then through various times, he has many other pictures that show the situation. They're parking on both sides of Walnut to go to the church or go to the football games. Obviously, I think the recommendations was Gary Goosen, who I've had some conversations with, just the uniqueness of the situation, having a Hoffman address and asking for Walnut to be residential parking only, and then parking inside the street on the east side of Walnut. So it's unique in that way.
So has Gary already looked at this?
He's seen it, we've talked about it.
So we're looking for no parking on the east side of Walnut.
Right. And then additionally, residential parking only.
On the west side, right.
So we would typically send this to Gary, and Gary would send us back a written recommendation stating, yeah, no parking from here to here, and
Correct.
resident only parking.
Since my last conversation with Gary yesterday, we were gonna just go with, no parking beside the street. Realizing now that it's really not gonna solve the problem, as far as the other people parking on the west side of the wall.
How many houses actually front on Walnut?
3 of us.
There's one actually on a Walnut address, the other two are, I think it's 1504 and 1508 Walnut, which sit on each corner of Walnut and Hoffman. Those are the ones most affected by this. The gentleman at 4815 is off, basically on the alleyway.
Okay.
Parking on that end was what's choking.
So there's nobody that's gonna get upset about resident only parking?
No.
Because all these cars, they live there?
They're either.
All these cars here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
That's the 4815.
yeah, that's sort of why we were hoping to, the problem is biggest on Sunday in the morning when they have the 3 masses.
Yeah.
In fact, my neighbor who lives right across from me on the west side of Walnut, if he goes to McDonald's, you know, on a Sunday morning and comes back, he's.
Isn't there a big parking lot that they could park in right there by the school?
Yeah,
Oh, that fills up with that church?
and,
That's on the east side of the.
but the problem is, you know, in addition to the Sunday morning issue, the neighbor who's tucked back there in the corner, you know, when they have guests, which is routinely, they're on both sides of the street, and there's absolutely no way to get a plow through there or it's just, you know.
That's the 9
So it goes beyond Sunday morning, it's kind of a.
Well, we probably should refer this to Gary, and he can get back to us with a recommendation as to where the no parking should be posted, and,
I mean, I'll take it, I'm gonna take a drive. I mean, I will.
Yeah, they're on there.
For the fire department.
It's an interesting situation.
Okay.
Of course, Gary, I'll have further conversation with them, what we're trying to accomplish and what would be the best way to get to that point.
Again, no parking on the east side of Walnut, and then residential parking only on the west side.
Well, because of the way the gentleman's guests are parking on the east side of Walnut at that alley entrance,
Mm-hmm.
there'll be no parking on that side.
Right.
But we don't want residents parking on the east side. If that vehicle goes on the west side, and it's got a tag that's residential.
Right.
Then there, we should be okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually plenty of room for their guests and the resident who lives on the other side of Walnut to park on the west
On
side
the
of
west
Walnut.
side.
Plenty of room.
Okay.
And actually, the fellow there that's tucked in the back, he's got a 2-car garage with a driveway, so he's even got more room on his own property to land some of those cars, but he,
Matter of not only 41 feet.
Okay.
Do you want to land on those?
Can we?
no, thank you.
So we wanna send this to Gary for,
we still need Gary's recommendation, because he's gotta post the signs and everything.
okay.
And then we take the official action, so it's handled through the ordinance book.
If it doesn't go in front of the council Monday, if it's not walked across, then we don't see the selectmen.
No, I mean, Gary can put up the signs temporarily
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
I do the ordinance after we see if anybody complies.
Yeah.
He always puts them up on a trial basis, and then if
Okay. Okay, I recommend that we, take this under advisement and, send to Gary Gleason for his recommendation and hopefully, positive outcome.
And I'll concur.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who'd like to come up to the microphone?
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm David Pustek, and I live on the 2500 block of New York Avenue. And last week, I attended your meeting about deer crossing sign. And my request was if I can post a sign on the parkway in front of my house, for public safety reasons. It's great that that there are now 2 deer crossing signs that were installed on New York Avenue.
I saw those. I drove past there yesterday.
Yeah, I'm sure this is going to help a lot in preventing or at least reducing the risk of personal injuries, property damage, and the killing of the deers. Now, we have some unfinished business from last time where my request came to you and you came back to me. It says provide you with the specifications of the signs that I want to post. And I did that. And I also sent a copy to Mr. Gary Gleason. I didn't get a response from him. I assume that there was communications with you guys. But here's the 3 options that I have. You can say no, and I get to return the signs to the company, and they said I could. You can say yes, and I can install the sign in front of my house. You can say yes, but qualify your yes that it fits with the city specification. The company said they will meet or exceed your specifications. So I just want to close this.
I didn't see them. What do they look like?
I can.
Did you get a set?
What's copy?
Oh.
I copy.
Okay, has Mr. Gleason actually seen the sign?
I sent him an email with the sign, with all this documentation. I sent it to Lynn, and I copied Mr. Gleason on it, because his email came back undeliverable. So Lynn said that she would forward it to him, and she confirmed she did.
Right. This is
Whether he
Lynn.
read it or not, I don't know. Oh, Helen, nice talking to you. And you gave me some good advice on the Port Authority. So what are we doing?
Well, this would be my comment, sir. If Mr. DeStotny, being a city engineer for many, many, many years, says there is a specified manual that says the type of signs that cities or municipalities, towns can put up. And we put up something that's different. And Kevin Margraf is driving down New York Avenue and said, wow, that's a pretty nice sign. Bang. I'm gonna hire an attorney. And they're gonna say, that sign was not approved by the city to be put up, and we're under a liability umbrella now. That would be my concern.
If I may, Stan, isn't there a certain size the sign has to be depending on the speed limit?
Yeah, size reflectivity now too also is a critical issue on the signage, and they've standardized it across the whole nation so that if somebody sees a sign in California, it's basically the same sign that's in Indiana.
So I think what the gentleman, the signs previous were 18 by 18, correct? I think New York Avenue is a 35 mile an hour or 25 mile an hour?
25.
25. I don't know if it's going to be.
Yeah, the sign, yeah, speed has a lot to do with it. The actual Uniform Traffic Control Device manual that everybody has to follow. It's state statute and federal statute. That manual is about that thick, and it specifies everything, signage size for different speed limits, street name signs, all the traffic control signs. So deviating from that puts us in a position where we could be liable for something happening. Because if somebody goes, boy, why is that sign different from the ones I see all over the rest of the country?
Again, can I just comment? I gave you 3 choices. Let's make this simple.
Well,
Say
I
no,
personally haven't even
say
seen
no,
the
and I will
sign, so
return
I don't
the sign
know.
back to the company. They'll accept
Yeah.
it. Yes, and I get to install a sign. Yes, but you qualify to follow the guidelines, and the company says they will meet those guidelines, and then I can install it. Which option?
But isn't the problem solved with the signs that are up, that the street department put up?
I know, but I like my signs, and I like, one of them is a really cute sign of a doe and its fawn. I like that, it's cute. And again, it's just, more signs the better, the more safety.
Not necessarily.
Just say no.
More confusion.
Put them on his property, he's capable of doing that, you can't put it on the city parkway. That would be a liability.
Yeah, this is gonna set a really bad precedent, because you're gonna get everybody coming here saying, well, we don't like the way that stop sign looks. We think you need a stop sign that looks like this.
Actually, they should come in and ask the city to straighten the signs, from the wind and age, because they're all crooked. That's kind of like one of the reasons why I said, I want to put a quality sign up, so that doesn't happen. But again, just say no, and we're finished.
My recommendation is no.
And I concur.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have something else. I'm sorry, but I have a full page here.
That's what this period of the meeting is for.
I'd like to comment on the Lost Mark Estate project. Okay? And there is no communication as to what is going on, at least to me. I'm missing the communication. I go on the internet, I try and go to any public site to see what's going on there, what the plan is, what the schedule is, and
Well, the Plan Commission had a public hearing on this.
16 years ago.
No,
I didn't hear about it. I was just told yesterday that the plan that you're following now was developed 16 years ago as part of the
who told you that?
part of the project of the golf course.
When that subdivision plat got approved with those lots broken up, that was done with recent times, since I retired. So the Nats would end the last, 18, 19 months.
But then as a
was
resident, I
approved.
should have gotten some.
Well, how far do you live from the boundary?
From what?
From the boundary of the project? If you're within 300 feet, yeah, you should have got certified notification. But if you're more than
I
that,
got that for the dormitory for the college. I did not get that for anything to do with these duplexes, 18 duplexes that are going to be, as a row on New York Avenue. I did not get that. So I didn't know about this. So anyway, that's one of the activities that I'd like to see. Things that are happening there is I see strange people, coming. I don't know if they belong to the project or if they're casing our house or anything. I don't know that. I see people, cars and trucks there that are just sitting there, and I don't know if they're part of the project or again, I don't know what's going on. Third thing I see is all this paint and arrows, on the sidewalk, on the street, and I just wonder what's going on because there's no communication to me. A lot of this activity has disrupted the peace. Even the wildlife habitats have been destroyed. But, wildlife, they'll rebound and they'll find another place to live. The deers will alter their trail. And a raccoon, it decided to take residence in my chimney. That was 70 years I didn't have a tap on my chimney, and all of a sudden, I get a raccoon living in my chimney. Now, that cost me $500 to have that raccoon removed. So, again, I just don't know what's going on. I don't know if that's connected, with this project, but if it is, then I just spent $500 and I have a financial stake in this project. Okay? I'm only asking for communication, that there has to be a plan, there has to be a schedule, there has to be pending decisions, that are going on. And I think the public should be aware, be provided this information. But I don't know where to look, nowhere else. And
I would contact the city planner because he should know the status of the project. Between the city planner and probably economic development, you should be able to get all your questions answered.
I didn't see city planner as a list of your departments on your site.
City planner is Brian Poland.
I know, but, it's not on your website.
No, he works under the building department, right? Or
Yeah, right?
There's no building department on your website.
Pardon me?
Again, I'm looking at the public, information, and it's not there.
Planning and development would be part of different plans.
There's redevelopment.
This is redevelopment, this is economic plan.
Okay, I was told that the three departments that are involved is the Port Authority, the redevelopment, and also the city. And none of them will address safety issues, and I thought that would be your responsibility to address safety issues. With someone, I don't know, maybe the city did, they posted a billboard, across the street from my house. And it has the schematics of what's planned, and I look at it and I go, there's some serious safety issues by it. So again, my main question to this board is that you have authority, what is it? You have oversight authority, over the developers, because the developers, I assume you're going to give specifications to the developers, and then the developers will, follow those specifications. But the current schematic, I was also told that is not going to be the plan. So
Who's
again,
telling you this stuff?
I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
Huh?
I don't want to get anyone in trouble. Yeah, I mean, just confirm, is it true or not true?
We wouldn't know.
Yeah, we're only involved in the public right-of-way aspect of it, because that's what the Board of Public Works and Safety's involvement is. So the dedicated streets, the sewers, the water mains, everything that's going into the property, we get involved in that portion of the development.
So one of my concerns is that we're going to have 18 driveways coming onto New York Avenue. Okay? That means that drivers will be slowing on New York Avenue to go in. Drivers will be backing out of New York Avenue, to leave. And they can only leave in one direction, okay? Unless they cross the median line. That's a safety issue. New York Avenue is a very busy street. It has the college and it has also the industry in the back there. So again, I think that's your jurisdiction.
Did you want to comment on this?
Yes, I did. This project hasn't taken off ground, we're not moving dirt, there may be adjustments to that. Specifications are going to be laid out in building code and zoning ordinances and the like as the project develops. Planning and development would be the place to go to get some of these questions answered. Brian Pullen also would be able to just talk of things such as driveways and where they're going to come out, how that's going to happen, and when it's going to be done. Whoever is giving this advice is not going to get in trouble for giving advice, but we've done to correct them also, so we share the information and the correct information. If you go to planning and development or Brian Pullen and talk to them, and they're not able to give you the answers, please contact me via email so we can share those emails with whoever's involved and try to get the answers that you're looking for. I can understand your concerns as far as safety, but those are all pretty well laid out in as far as the planning and development, building codes and zoning ordinances. So we're not going to go outside of what we're allowed to do. It's going to be planned and developed by ordinances and zoning.
Actually, the schematic, I think I had seen some time back, only had one entry point into this development off New York.
That was my understanding.
Only one road going in, that's going to be a cul-de-sac, is that right?
Yeah.
That's what I had seen, so the 18 driveways are not on New York Avenue, they will be within the development itself.
Go to the site right now, and you will see that they will be on New York Avenue. That's exactly what the schematic says. The houses are in a cul-de-sac in the back by the golf course.
Fluid situation, what the latest schematic is or what the latest plans are, I haven't seen them.
Okay.
Through building department, I don't know if we've seen any of them yet. Kurt may have, but I have not.
But you see, no public is giving input to this because
Well,
we don't know what's going on.
From inspections of building department, we won't do it until they start digging foundations and we get the plans for what they're constructing. Right now, it's in planning and development and with the building planner, or the city planner.
And now is the time to
That
come.
gentleman, if they can't give you the answers, let me know. Contact me via phone or email. I'll be glad to return your calls. I'll be glad to talk to whoever I need to get you the answers. that you're-
Shouldn't this be the other way instead of me doing all this investigating, looking that the city come and, inform me, maybe have a
Well,
community
I think
meeting
there's
and,
plenty of public forums without going too much further in. There's plenty of public forums. There's also numerous ways that you can contact folks to get that information. It's not as if we're trying to hide something or we're going to sneak something behind the back door. The information, whatever information is available is going to be available through planning or through the city planner. At the same time, there's plenty of venues to ask what is, be specific on what you're asking, and you can get a specific answer. So directing it to whatever department head needs to answer that question, I'll be glad, we can't find it, I'd be glad to help facilitate that.
Okay, again, I wish it was coming to me rather than me going to them.
There's been public expression, public
Yeah,
meetings.
there were public hearings and, there were advertisements in the paper of the public hearing for the project. I don't know
I get
what
the
else they
Tribune.
could do.
I get the Tribune.
It's typically in the Tribune and the Times. Also in CR publications and GoHammond.com websites, Facebook. It's out there.
I did a lot of that looking, and again, I thought the communication part of the city and the departments had very poor, your site needs to be updated. For example, for your site, you don't put the meeting notes online. Great in putting the films online. They just put one out there this morning from last week, but other departments don't do that. So a couple of them say under construction or something like that. But that's letting us know what's going on.
I've given him avenues to take. If you can't get the questions that answers to the questions he has, you can contact me and I'll do whatever I can to get him the information he needs. There's no trying to hide anything here. Okay, redevelopment planning and commission meetings are also online. GoHammond.tv? Yes, sir. GoHammond.tv.
I do that.
Okay.
That's where I was talking.
Well, those meetings are on these film zones also.
I don't know, I thought I looked at every one of them, so I could be wrong. And again, I'm not looking to, cause any, thinking that you're hiding something and trying to put over something. I'm just looking to understand and just be aware of what's going on.
And if you're seeking information, I'll do whatever I can to get you that information. Please have your questions directed, try to contact whatever department head you have. If you don't get the answers that you're looking for, please contact me. I don't want to speak for someone in planning and development. I don't want to speak for the city planner. But if you don't get the answers that you're looking for or you're not responding to, please contact me.
I appreciate that.
I will track them down and ask the questions you want.
I
Please be specific on the questions that you're asking.
Okay.
Okay?
Just I did want to make a public comment that for the deer crossings, prior to coming to last week, the prior week, I did contact the first district councilman, and ask them to give me some guidance as to how the process works and what I never got a call back. My email to Gary Gleason was not responded to either. So that's my comment. Sometimes they respond, sometimes they don't. But I do appreciate what Kelly has said.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's
Okay.
a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Everybody else left, so there's nobody else that wants to come speak, so,
I recommend that we adjourn the meeting.
and I'll concur. Meeting's adjourned.